All right, welcome. Let's talk about one of the most, let's say, interesting parts of learning German, verb prefixes. Have you ever felt like you're learning a verb and then suddenly it just breaks in half for no reason? Well, you're not alone. By the end of our time here, you're going to feel so much more confident spotting them, splitting them, and using them correctly. So let's just dive right in.
This is the big question, right? Why do German verbs sometimes break apart? It's a classic. You think you've learned a verb, maybe something like anrufen, which means to call. But then you see a sentence like ich rufe dich an, and suddenly the verb is in two different places. It can be so confusing. What is going on there? Well, that is the exact mystery we are going to solve today.
So here's how we're going to break it all down. First up, we'll look at how one verb can have many meanings. Then we'll dive into the separable prefix rule, and of course, the non-separable prefix rule. I'll show you how to spot the difference, what happens to these prefixes in new situations, and then we'll finish up with a little quiz to test your knowledge. Let's get started.
Okay, section 1. One verb, many meanings. And our foundation for all of this is going to be the verb stehen.
So let's start with a really simple, common verb, stehen, which just means to stand. You could say something like wir stehen vor dem Spiegel, which means we are standing in front of the mirror. Pretty straightforward. But this is where things get really cool.
Now just watch this. We can completely change the meaning just by popping a little prefix on the front. So if you take auf and add it to stehen, you get aufstehen, which means to get up. Or how about on plus stehen? That gives you anstehen, which means to queue or to stand in line. And get this, durch plus stehen becomes durchstehen, to endure something. Isn't that amazing? It's like a superpower for one little verb.
All right, section 2, the separable prefix rule. This is where we get to see that verb split right in two. So we know these prefixes can change a verb's meaning, but why do they sometimes break off? Let's get into our first big rule.
So, a separable verb, in German, a trennbares Verb, is, well, it's pretty much exactly what it sounds like. In a normal sentence, the prefix basically says see you later to the main verb and shoots all the way to the very end of the main clause.
And here it is in action. Look at this sentence. Ich stehe früh auf. Our verb was aufstehen, right? But look what happened. Stehe is conjugated like normal, right after ich, but its little prefix, auf, has been sent all the way to the end. That's the rule right there. Okay, section 3 is the non-separable prefix rule. These are the prefixes that, like to stick together. For every rule, there's always the other side of the coin, right? Let's check out the prefixes that are, well, a lot less dramatic.
Okay, this is the absolute key difference between the two. For separable verbs, the prefix detaches, and when you say the whole verb, you emphasize the prefix. So you'd say aufstehen. But for the non-separable ones, the prefix stays attached, and the emphasis is on the main verb stem. We'll see an example of this in just a second.
Check this out. The verb here is bestehen, which means to pass, and it's got that be prefix. Notice how it's totally glued to the verb. Du bestehst dein Examen. It stays right there. You would absolutely never say, du stehst dein Examen B. It sounds, well, totally wrong to a German speaker, because B is a classic non-separable prefix.
All right, moving on to section 4, spotting the difference. So the big question is, how do you know which is which without having to memorize 1,000 verbs? Well, don't worry, there are actually two really good clues, stress and some handy prefix lists.
So the first big secret is all about stress. It's about how the word sounds. If you're dealing with a separable verb, the emphasis is always on the prefix. You really hear it, aufstehen. But for non-separable verbs, the stress is on the main part of the verb, the stem, bestehen. Seriously, if you can just listen for where that emphasis is, you've pretty much cracked the code.
Your second clue is to just get familiar with these lists. Don't worry, you don't have to memorize them overnight. It'll become second nature. So on the left, we've got our separable crew, auf, an, ab, aus. You'll see these guys all the time. In the middle are the non-separable ones, the ones that stick like glue, be, air, fair. And then, over on the right, you've got a few tricky ones that can be both. Let's talk about them.
Okay, so let's look at these dual personality prefixes. The prefix is a perfect example. If you have the verb umschauen, meaning to look around, it separates. Er schaut sich. And notice the stress. Umschauen.
But then you have umarmen, to hug, and it's non-separable. Umarmt seine Frau. And where's the stress? Umarmt. See? It all comes back to that stress rule. The sound and the meaning tell you everything you need to know.
Up next, Section 5, Prefixes and New Situations. So you've got the basics down, but what happens when you start building more complex sentences, like using the future tense or das clauses? Let's find out.
So, in the future tense, when you use that helper verb werden, something kind of funny happens. The prefix and the verb, they get back together. So that sentence we had, ich stehe früh auf, becomes ich werde früh aufstehen. See that? The prefix runs back to the verb to form the full infinitive at the end of the sentence. It's like a little family reunion.
And guess what? The same exact thing happens in clauses that start with das, which means that. The entire verb, prefix, and all gets kicked to the very end. So if you start with du stehst nicht gerne früh auf, and you add ich weiß das, it becomes ich weiß, dass du nicht gerne früh aufstehst. Again, the prefix and verb are reunited at the very end of the clause.
Okay, time for Section 6, Test Your Knowledge. You've seen the rules, you've seen the examples, now let's see how you do with a little practice. You ready for this?
All right, question 1. The verb is aufräumen, which means to tidy up or to clean up. How do you correctly fill in the blanks here? Ich, mein Zimmer aufräumen. Go ahead, take a moment to think about it.
And the answer is, ich räume mein Zimmer auf. Perfect, you got it. Auf is one of our classic separable prefixes, so it has to go right to the end.
Okay, on to question 2. The verb is verstehen, to understand. Which one of these is the correct sentence? Is it A, ich verstehe dich, or B, ich stehe dich ver?
The answer is, of course, A, ich verstehe dich. That prefix, ver, is on our non-separable list, which means it stays glued to its verb no matter what. Excellent job. So, there you have it. What probably seemed like a totally random, chaotic part of German grammar is actually a pretty logical system, isn't it? It really just comes down to listening for the stress and getting to know those common prefixes. You now have the keys to unlock hundreds of new German verbs. So, my question for you is, what new verb are you going to go out and try next?